Hey guys, I want to take a few minutes and walk through some of the big things I saw when reading through Job, chapter 2 through 14 this week, the part that I asked you to read through. I'd like to talk through some of that and just make sure we're on the same page with what this really unusual book is saying. And I haven't replied to all of your comments yet. I hope to in the next few days, but I want to really thank you for the honesty that a lot of you are showing with asking questions about this. This book is a troubling book, and the fact that it's one of the oldest books of the Bible, and that all the Jews and all Jewish scholars and all the Christian scholars through history have all said this book should be in the Bible. Jesus refers to this book. It's part of what we have here. And what's so interesting to me about that I want you to really focus on right now is how many questions there are in this book and how hard it is to tell what's true. So let me just walk through quickly some of the things I would have seen I did see when I was reading through this week that just hit me again. So we start out, we talked about last time, the opening scene is kind of establishing this world where there's a guy who's just got it all. He's a good guy. He's totally blessed. Everything's good. And for reasons that have nothing at all to do with anything he did, he loses everything, including his kids. And his wife turns against him. And it says twice in the first chapters, Job didn't sin against God by what he said or what he thought. But then Job just starts pouring out this grief, saying, I wish I'd never been dead. It'd be better for me to just have been gone. And he goes on for chapters, and finally his friends start to talk. And so notice how their tone is with him at first. Eliphaz speaks. And by the way, these little captions like the innocent prosper, you guys know that's not in the original text, right? Those things and verse numbers were added by editors later on to make it so that we could kind of find the main points. But that's not part of the text. Eliphaz the Temanite answered, we have zero idea what a Temanite is, historically. So again, it looks a little bit like this is not designed to be mostly a historical account. It's telling us, it's creating a dialogue and exploring these questions. So Eliphaz speaks. And he's talking to his friend, who's sitting there in ashes, having just mourning. If one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? Behold, you have instructed many. You have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have made firm the feeble knees. Job, you've been a good guy. You've given counsel to people before. But now it's come to you, and you're impatient. It touches you, and you're dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? So he's trying to say, Job, you've talked with people about how to have faith a lot of times before, and now you're having problems, and you're looking scared. What's going on? Don't you believe God anymore? Remember, who that was innocent ever perished? Or where were the upright cut off? Now, look at what he's saying here. He's saying, Job, looks like you're kind of dying. Your kids died. Who that was innocent ever died? Maybe your kids weren't as innocent as you think, Job. As I've seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. So, Job, think about it. God's just, and you reap what you sow. Maybe your kids' parties weren't all that innocent. Maybe your sacrifices weren't all that pure. What's going on, Job? Maybe you should repent of some things. And he keeps going. Let's see. Verse 17. Can a mortal man be in the right before God? Can a man be pure before his Maker? Hey, Job, you're just a human. Are you sure you're right? Are you sure the objective truth is that you're totally innocent in this? Or is that just your subjective experience? You think you're right. You think you don't have prejudice or sexism or ageism or evil thoughts, but really, how sure are you? Can you really know yourself, Job? And he goes on for a couple chapters. He said, "Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Surely vexation kills the fool, and jealousy slays the simple. I've seen the fool taking root, but suddenly I curse his dwelling, and his children are far from safety, and they're crushed in the gate, and there's no one to deliver them." So Job, the stuff that happens to you, we've seen it happen before, and we've all said, yeah, those guys were foolish. That's why they got what they deserved. Are you sure that you're innocent? And Job replies, let's see, let me find the part that really stood out to me. Oh, yes. So this is now Job talking. And Job says, he's basically said, life is back off. I'm grieving here. I didn't do anything wrong. And then he says, remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good. The eye of him who sees me will behold me no more. While your eyes are on me, I shall be gone. As the cloud fades and vanishes, so he who goes down to Sheol, Sheol is the grave, the pit. Sometimes it's translated as hell. He who goes down to Sheol does not come up. He returns no more to his house, nor does his place know him any more. Now, keep in mind, this is Job talking. The guy who was set up as so good and blameless at the beginning. This does not look like Job believes that there's an afterlife, does it? Right? What's he saying here? He's not clearly not saying, but I know I'll go to heaven someday. That's not what he's saying here. Maybe he believes it, but that's not what these verses are saying. And he goes on, therefore I will not restrain my spirit. I will speak the anguish of my spirit. I'll complain in the bitterness of my soul. There's no comfort for me, so I'm going to let it out. If I sin, what do I do to you, you watcher of mankind? What have you made me? Why have you made me your mark? Why have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now I shall lie in the earth, and you will seek me, but I shall not be. So who's he talking to when he says this? How long will you not look away from me? How long will you leave me till I swallow nor leave me alone till I swallow my spit? If I sin, what did I do to you, you watcher of mankind? Who's this watcher of mankind? Is he talking just to Eliphaz, or is he sort of talking to God here? What do I do? What have I done to you, God, that's maybe your mark? Why have I become a burden to you? Why don't you pardon my transgressions? Why don't you take away my sin? If I have the sin, God, take it away. Don't punish me for it. Show me, and I'll repent. So Job's sort of calling out God for not being fair with this. Bildad answers and says, sort of like Eliphaz, how long will you say these things, and the words of your mouth be a great wind? Does God pervert justice? Does the Almighty pervert the right? God is just. You've got to believe that, Job. Bildad's just preaching at him. Like, Job, God's just. God doesn't punish innocent people. So why is Job suffering right now? Does Job have a secret sin that is going to be revealed through this? Or is Bildad wrong and God does pervert justice? How do you answer this? Job, if your children have sinned against him, he's delivered them into the hand of their transgression. If you will seek God and plead with the Almighty for mercy, if you're pure and upright, surely then he will rouse himself for you and restore your rightful habitation. Job, there's still hope. Come on, Job, repent. Confess your sin. Admit that your kids aren't perfect. They got what they deserved. Admit it. Come on, Job. So whose side are you on right now? Job's or Bildad's and Eliphaz? Is Job really telling the truth about God, or are they? Look at this. Behold, God will not reject the blameless man, nor take the hand of evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouting. Job, if you're blameless, this wouldn't be happening. So repent, and God will restore you. There's forgiveness. Come on, Job. Accept God's forgiveness for your sin. And Job answered and said, truly, I know that it's so. But how can a man be in the right before God? Now Job's saying the same thing that Eliphaz said. If one wishes to contend with him, one cannot answer him once in 1,000 times. God, come on. Job's response, just this frustration is pouring out. I know the stuff you're saying sounds right. I know it's right. God's just. God doesn't pervert justice. But how can I prove that he did? Because I can't argue with God. God's smart. God knows stuff. He can move mountains. He's the creator. How can I prove that I'm innocent? Really big questions. And they're questions that are pretty familiar to us, too. And then Job gets even stronger. I loathe my life. I'll give free utterance to my complaint. I'll speak in the bitterness of my soul. I'll say to God, do not condemn me. Let me know why you contend against me. Why does it seem good to you, God, to oppress and despise the work of your hands? God, give me an answer here. Why are you just or not? Tell me. And he goes on and gets more passionate. And his friends come back and say, come on, Job, repent. If you prepare your heart and ask for God, God will forgive you. Repent. Your life will be good if you repent. And Job says, no. And Job says, no doubt you're the people and wisdom will die with you. I love that sarcasm. No doubt you've got it all figured out. As soon as you're dead, there will be no more wisdom in the world. But I have understanding as well as you. I'm not inferior of you. Who doesn't know these things you're saying? Of course. We all believe that God's just, but he's not. He doesn't seem just. This does not look just. What's wrong? I would speak to the Almighty and desire to argue my case with God. As for you, you whitewashed with lies, worthless physicians are you all. Oh, that you would keep silent, and it would be your wisdom. You would seem so much smarter if you just shut up. That's what Job's saying here. Hear now my argument and listen to the pleading of my lips. Will you speak falsely for God? Will you plead the case for God? Are you going to defend him in this? I didn't do anything wrong, and God took away everything. I was just. I was loving God, and God took it all away. And then, let's see. He keeps going. But a man dies and is laid low. Man breathes his last, and where is he? As waters fall from a lake, and a river wastes away and dries up, so a man lies down and doesn't get up, but rises not again, till the heavens are no more. He will not awake or be roused out of his sleep. So, I'm going to die, and that's the end of me. Once I'm gone, it's over, and I'm going to die soon. Oh, that you would hide me in shield. You would just conceal me until your wrath is past. God, I'd rather have you just kill me. Please, just let me die. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my service, I would wait till my renewal should come. And then, here's what he's applying here. If there's a resurrection, then when you call, and I would answer you, and you would long for the work of your hands. And then you'd cover over my sin. But you prevail forever, God. You can fight forever, and I get tired. I die. So God, if we go to a fight, you'll win eventually because I'll die. This is not a guy leading worship songs, right? And this is in the Bible. This is there. So one of the questions you should be asking yourself is, why is this there right now? So Job keeps going. If I speak, my pain is not assuaged. And if I forbear, how much of it leaves me? Surely now God has worn me out. God has shriveled me up. God is a witness against me. God is a witness against me. Like God is the accuser. Remember how the word for adversary and accuser, remember what that word is in Hebrew? Shaitan. God is my Shaitan. God is my Satan. He has torn me in his wrath and hid me. God has gnashed his teeth at me. My adversary, my Shaitan, sharpens his eyes against me. And in this context, Job's kind of saying, my Satan is God. God gives me up to the ungodly. God casts me in the hands of the wicked. I was at ease and he broke me apart. He seized me by the neck and dashed me to pieces. He set me up as his target. He breaks me with breach upon breach. He runs on me like a warrior. I